So I realized I never filmed an intro to this video, which is really weird. I think I was trying to film a vlog the same weekend and the footage just got mixed in somewhere and I don't feel like digging through. So I'm gonna be making a Scarlet cosplay from May I Ask for One Last Thing. She's a really fun character. I'll put some photos up of the outfit I'm doing. She basically just punches away all of her problems and I really appreciate that. It's kind of like a villainous romance type anime too. Really love her though. It's like totally up my alley. This isn't like a big competition project or anything. This is just me kind of just wanting this cosplay, so I'm making it. Which I really enjoy these kinds of projects. I'm choosing to do, so I think her ball gown outfit is way more recognizable, but I'm choosing to do her more like fighting outfit that comes up in the end of the anime. I don't know if you guys have ever walked around in a ball gown in like Artist Alley at a convention, but it's horrific. Like I remember with my Katarina Kleiss cosplay, I walked around so much at so many conventions and it was just a huge hassle getting around up and down escalators, being in crowds, getting in and out the hotel, like just everything is really difficult in a ball gown. And like I think if I'm doing like a competition, I don't mind going really big with it, right? And having everything be a pain in the butt because it's supposed to be for the spectacle, for the show. But this is just me being a nerd about a character I love. So I want it to be comfy and practical, so I'm choosing her more practical outfit. So anyways, I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. Alright guys, we are ready to do the first mock-up for Scarlet's outfit. Another note, because I keep having to make these, I made the whole pattern in Clo 3D. I drafted it myself. It took a lot of iterations. I'll probably show it later on. This was rough. I really struggled with off the shoulders, but Clo 3D is where I made the pattern, and then I put it into Adobe Illustrator to make it projectable, because I use a Ditto projector when like Joann's was closing. I got one really inexpensive. The washing machine is like super loud in the background, so don't mind that. But my pattern changes here that I've noted down are I need to clip the front of the skirt so it doesn't like overlap. I need to mark where the waistband overlaps. There's a fit issue on the top of the pattern where it's like all crunching that I think that's causing the sleeves to fall down. Also, I want to add length to the back so it actually covers the waistband of the skirt. I basically remade the entire shirt pattern. Now my dryer is running, by the way, so it's still loud in here. But I remade the entire shirt pattern. To you guys, it might look similar to before. To me, this is an entirely different pattern. I also added in these sleeves. Okay guys, I did the mock-up for the top. I don't know how it happened this way, but now I know where the fit issue is. Sleeves fit fine, skirt is fine. Everything around the waist and stuff and the top, awesome. It's quite literally this part, you can definitely see the issue just here. These straps are not even on my shoulder. So I have a theory, because it fit fine on my model, that my shoulders are probably a lot more narrow than the 3D model. So I am going to measure out my shoulders and put that in. Look at all this, guys. This isn't even, I still have like a few more mock-up pieces. This is insanity. Just saying. I'm just about ready to cut into the fabric for this, but there's one last thing I want to do. So she has these little flowers all over. She has all these little flowers. It's really noisy in here because today's cleaning day, and the dishwasher, the washing machine, and like pretty much everything is running in here. So it is really loud, and I apologize for that. So, she has these flowers all over her outfit. So I found a brocade type of fabric that has the same flower pattern. It was pretty hard to find. I'm gonna see if I can make applique with this. So I'm gonna cut out one of these flowers and just kind of experiment with it before cutting all of them out. Because if I need to change my plan, then I need to change my plan. but I want to make sure it works out before following through my plan. I'm gonna do one with fire. Like I'm gonna take a lighter and try to burn the edges before sewing it onto something. And then with the other, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to just like stitch the edge, like zigzag stitch the edge, and see how that works out. I do have a serger, but like it doesn't like in a pretty way finish the edges. I actually have to rethread my serger too. I hate rethreading the serger, guys. So that's the game plan right now. And then we can finally cut into the fabric. I have a whole box of all the stuff for this. So a problem that's come up with this is that the fabric for the flowers is a more off-white than the fabric for everything else is just like plain white. I'll show you guys. I'm going to take a piece of the off-white and see how it holds up in bleach. And if bleaching it works out, I'm going to just bleach the whole shebang. And the shirt pieces over there, I'm not picking those up because they will fall everywhere. And then I have the sleeve pieces somewhere back there. It took a while to cut, a long time. There's a lot of different fabrics and stuff in this. So something that I'm concerned about is I did bleach this floral fabric, but it did whiten a bit, but not as much as like I want it to whiten. We'll see how it looks. This isn't like a competition piece, so I'm not super concerned. I also don't want to spend too much time on it, but I would like if it were a little bit lighter. Anyways though, so I'm gonna change out my serger thread and my machine thread, putting this all together finally with the skirt this time. I don't usually start with the skirt, guys, if you know me, but I'm actually dreading the skirt a little bit with this. So it's because it's a curved hem and I hate hemming curved hems, so I'm going to start with that because I do think I might be dreading that the most. Okay, so there's 3 layers to the skirt. There's this lining layer, and I made a layer of tulle for the inside. And this is the external layer. It's a lot more of like it's got a little bit more of a sheen to it, and it just drapes really nice. So that's why this is going to be the outer layer. It's going to, I don't feel like moving the whole thing. This is gonna be my first time trying to actually use this horsehair braid to make the hem really stiff. Her skirt has like a very structured hem to it. It's like, I don't know how to describe it besides springy, and I feel like the horsehair braid would add a really nice spring to the hem. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the skirt hem. And then I will be combining all of the edges at the top, putting them in the waistband. But for now, we'll just work on the horsehair braid. I'm pretty anxious about it, honestly, but I think it's going to look really good if it does turn out well. Okay, so the skirt worked out. I put together all 3 layers. Could have been a little cleaner with the tulle, probably. There's the tulle layer, and then we have this cotton layer, and then we have this like really shiny twill layer on the top of it all. And it actually looks really good. I freaking love what the horsehair braid did to it, because it's just, it reminds me of like a Sailor Moon skirt, if that makes sense. I kind of sewed together these edges to keep them together. I feel like that looks a little messy. If this was like a competition type cosplay, I would redo that part. But it's just for me because I just really love the character and want this cosplay. So I'm gonna let that be Like I said, not my best work, but next time I think I'll just hem them together. You still have like 2 hours until your dinner time. Hey, yeah. Anyways, so next up is I'm going to add on the waistband. I made the waistband red, so if it does show, hopefully it'll like blend in more with the top piece. So I'm gonna sew that on now, and now I have 2 cats licking me for some reason. Hi, Bobo. Can I help you, sir? Has an inner layer and an outer layer. There's like a layer of white cotton on the inside, and that white cotton layer is going to be like folded inside out as a lining. I'm gonna bag line it, and that's how I'm gonna get a nice smooth finished edge. I was considering adding some light boning, but I have to look at what my boning supply is like. I actually think I'm out of boning. I'd probably have to order more in advance next time. Alright guys, the next step is the fleurs. So, let me get my stand a little higher. I have this floral fabric. I have a much bigger piece of it, but I'm like not gonna pick it up. So this is like one of the back pieces, for example. So I'm actually cutting the flowers out and then burning the edges with fire. So then I can get like smooth edge. And then I'm sewing those into the seam line. I'll sew them onto the pieces of fabric before sewing them onto the main top, but maybe I'll overlap it in a way or something. I gotta play with the flowers once I cut them out to basically arrange them in this pattern. It's really hard to see on the phone, but all of these are like little flowers and they go back out at the waist, right? So I'm gonna try to get that. Oh, that actually looks really good. So I'm going to try to get that effect by cutting a bunch of these out and kind of like layering them around until they work. Now I'm going to sew the lining to the outer layer. I'm really, really proud of how these flowers came out. They look so good. Okay, I'll show you where I'm leaving off with this for the night. I lined it, and there it is, pressed out. I did some top stitching on this bottom part. And next up is going to be adding these pleats to this top part here. I need to make this piece a little wider. Okay guys, I was like super tired last night. Like literally I couldn't even keep my eyes open. Like I did some fencing last night and then I came home and was like, I'm gonna do some sewing. And then I was exhausted, but I did what I could. So I finished the edges of all these arm pieces, and long story short, what I'm gonna be doing is sandwiching everything in a way such that, so this is gonna fold over this corner to create a clean edge, and then when the sleeve is closed up, it's going to, you'll just see the red silk from the outside. And the reason why I'm not doing it all the way up, like properly lining it, which I think would be the more normal thing to do, is because I don't want 2 layers in my armpit. It's a very specific reason. If you ever have had something really thick on your armhole all day, it's not comfortable. It's very uncomfortable. I'm gonna put on the sleeves first, and then I'm going to work on the zippers and the closures and all that stuff. I almost forgot the top of sleeve ruffles. Alright, I I had to take a couple weeks off to work on another project, but now back to Scarlet. So I am going to be adding the zipper, and well, I don't know. I'm going to start with the zipper, see how it fits, and move on from there. I have a concern because the way it appears, that the zipper isn't going to work, and I'm going to have to add grommets to the back. So a lot depends on that. We'll see how it goes. I did order gloves for her though. They came in, her little fighting gloves. I feel like 80s rock star-esque. Okay guys, the zipper fits perfect, but there's one last thing we need to do before the hand finishing part. I tested out, I made these little sleeve things to go under her sleeve. They look perfect, but I need to, these are falling down and I was just gonna add a bow to the back, but if I take that in right there, then that should also resolve it. So I'm going to resolve that. Okay, the edge has a bias finishing around it, so I'm going to make some bias tape with my leftover white fabric. Guys, it's time for hand sewing details and thread cleaning. I don't know who needs to know this, but if you guys have a Daiso, or I imagine the Dollar Tree is kind of similar. I have a Daiso near me, so I go there a lot, and Michael's and Joann's can be a little unreliable, or Michael's, because Joann's is gone, can be a little unreliable with sewing stuff. But I've had great luck with finding stuff at Daiso, like snaps. I got these awesome snaps I'm about to put on from Daiso. Freaking love that place. I've gotten lots of buttons there too. They have a lot of foam. They have a lot of those Eva foam tile things. They also have a lot of like different buttons and little decorative things, thread, like hand sewing thread. Like I actually just remembered, like I actually got specific like waxed hand sewing thread from Daiso. I really love Daiso, like a ton. They have really good stuff. So now we have to get started on her jewelry. She has a black choker that is like that, and it also has a little bow on the side. Alright, so now I'm going to get started on Scarlet's earrings. They're probably not going to get finished today because I have to get them shipped, the earring backs. I could have sworn I had some. I have no clue where they went. You know, I still have no idea. So I ordered some and they're not going to come here until sometime this week. But I am going to get started on the earrings. There's two triangles that they're important to her character because it helps her with her time magic. So I'm gonna make some of these to dangle off of earring pieces. Just two red and gold type triangles. I'm gonna heat treat this though, and I'm also going to, I made sure to buy thick enough foam so it hopefully won't curl and all. So I'm heat treating it in advance too. Okay guys, I'm finally going to try this whole shebang on. I finished the earrings, so I painted the base coat red, and then I made do I have the brush around? I just put paint on the very tips of this, and then I kind of painted around to get that kind of gem-like effect. Hopefully it worked. And then I used my jeweler's tools and put earrings, attach them on earrings. I don't really know if I'm making jewelry correctly. I think it's something I need to properly learn sometime. So yeah, now I'm gonna try it all on. I'm just gonna, her wig hasn't come in, so I'm just gonna put my hair in a regular bun. Okay guys, here it is. I only have one glove on because it takes a hand to operate camera stuff. I'm pretty happy with it. There are some things I'd fix, but I also think I really rushed this in some ways because this is not a competition piece. So I was like, who cares? I kind of just wanted to experiment with this kind of neckline, if I'm gonna be honest. But I'm pretty proud of the bow. It stays up really nicely in back. And then here's all the jewelry. I tried to do my hair like hers just for presentation's sake. I hate this hairstyle on myself. So there's the earrings, and then there's the necklace. Here are her shoes, her little black, ugly little black boots. They're kind of growing on me though, I'm not gonna lie. I still think that I could learn a lot more about this type of neckline. This was very difficult for me, but there's lots of things like that. This was just kind of a random passion project, if you know what I mean. Like, I just kind of watched this anime with this girl that just punches all of her problems away, and I was like, I need to cosplay that character ASAP, and I made this. And I chose this over the ball gown because I wanted something that was really comfortable to wear to conventions. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, maybe I didn't forget, I'll know in editing. My wig has been in California for like 3 weeks. So I wanted to finish this video with the wig. I was actually waiting to line it up with when the wig got here, but then the wig never came. Maybe it'll like miraculously show up tomorrow though, and that would be pretty cool. Anyways, thank you for watching. See you guys next week.